Creative Katie, Karen Burchill here, and welcome to my channel. Today I have a mixed media art journal tutorial for you, and I'm doing some different things. So it happened, I finished my 7x10 Canson mixed media journal, so I get to break a brand new journal. And I have another one at the ready, and I am using green and yellow, which if we flip through my other one, don't do a whole lot of this color combination, but I wanted something light and airy. And I'm applying this to the page, to the raw page this time, and just blending it a little bit on the areas. I'm not too worried about it being patchy because I know I'm going to be doing some stenciling. I know I'm going to be doing some other work on this. Now I prefer adding gesso. If you see the masking tape at the across the top, I do that to keep the paint and gunk out of the coils. So I'm taking this peacock doily stencil from the Crafter's Workshop and I am applying gesso. It's a thicker gesso with my finger through the stencil. And what this is going to do is give some amazing texture. You're going to see the pattern a little bit. You're going to see the texture. This isn't something I typically do, but in the spirit of unleash creativity, which is the sentiment I use for this, I want to use my art journal to try new things, to explore the possibilities. So now that I have this on and it's dry, I am just applying color to it. Now I guess I could have done this first and then applied color and it would have been one step. But sometimes you don't know where you're going to go when you start a page, and that's okay. Just be open to whatever happens. You can see that lovely texture that's there. It's not as texturized as if there was modeling paste, but there's definitely texture and the paint catches in those grooves. Now I'm not trying to get rid of all the white. In fact, I love the white and I'm going to be adding more of that in there. So this is a foam stamp from Studio Light, one of my recent purchases. I love these stamps for mixed media. And on the side there, I'm taking some white paint. I was unsure what color, but I decided to go with white. And I'm spreading it out with my key card on the glass mat. There you can see it at the top right-hand corner. And I'm going to stamp this, put the stamp in there, and now I'm going to apply. Now this stamp works really well with the peacock doily. They have that circular, round, curvy shapes in there, and I'm really loving how they work together. And you can definitely see the peacock doily stencil now. While I'm working, I'm thinking it's not really showing up. Now this is one of my favorite stamps. It's a dot stamp from Stampendas, and I'll put a link to it and any other products that I can find links to in the description box below in case you want to go and check it out and see. So I've got that focal image, and it's just a magazine image that I thought was cute, and it's been sitting in my stash for a while, and it had those green and yellow colors. But I decide I need a little bit more interest. Now this looks like it's black, but it's not. It's actually phthalo blue. It's kind of a greenish blue. And there's my finished background as it was. You can see the texture, you can see the pattern from the stamps, from the stencils. It's just all sorts of loveliness. And there's some close-ups. And this is something I'm trying to get in the habit of doing, is taking a picture of the backgrounds before I take it to the next step. This will go into a folder on my laptop, and I can refer back to it if I want to recreate it. Now, my plan was to put "let the adventure begin," but I decided that that sentiment was too small, And then I found the one, Unleash Creativity. And this is the message, this is the first page in my art journal, and I want that message, I want to see that every time I go to my journal. Unleash creativity. Challenge myself to try new color combinations like I'm doing with this page. Use products that you haven't used yet. Use things in different ways. So now I'm just working on the composition. And right now, what's going through my head is I have the black, a very bold black in the sentiment, and there's no black in the background right now. So I'm going to add some. And the quickest way to do that is to splatter. So I'm thinning down my black acrylic paint, which I happen to have had on my glass mat from the last page that I did. And I was going to shade with it. And then I grabbed the charcoal pencil. It's faster, it's easier. And then I had the idea of scraping this woodless charcoal pencil against the gessoed stenciled part. And it totally brought out the pattern. A little bit more. For some reason I was thinking it wasn't brought out, and I wanted to introduce black into the background. Now while I liked how it was, it did dull my page a bit, and it caused me some problems later. So now I've swapped sides where the sentiment and the girl is going to go. And I'm finding that there's a lot of white in there, and I'm liking the girl is holding flowers, and the flower shapes and petals are matching the stamp that I put on there, and that's what I was pointing out. I'm not liking all the white that is in the sentiments, so I decide I'm going to cut it off, but before I do that, I'm going to splatter some black. I still didn't have enough black in there. So I just kind of cut around it, the sentiment, and got rid of some of the white. Now the girls' pigtails, they were purple, and I've painted over them with the same color that I stamped those dots. Now did you see it? I'm putting gel medium, but because I put charcoal there, that just smudges. So it's not a big deal because it's underneath the girl, but now I've got charcoal on the brush, and I'm transferring that to the front of this girl. So I'm getting out a baby wipe and I'm trying to clean up. Now seriously, I know better. Did I think that this time the charcoal wouldn't smudge and smear? So if you want to do with the charcoal pencil, do it after you glue. That would be my suggestion, and you'll avoid that whole mess. You don't have to work around it. Or you can put the gel medium on the back of the picture, like you're going to see me doing with the sentiment here. Now I got wrinkles on this girl's face, and it's an art journal. It's not fine art, and so I'm okay with that. I knew the magazine was a very flimsy one. So here I'm putting the gel medium on the back of the sentiment, and that way I'm not putting it on the page and I'm not smearing with the charcoal that's on there. And whether it's charcoal or any medium that's water activated, watercolor, Inktense pencils, any of that, it will reactivate. So you could have to do things differently. If I had sprayed with a sprayable fixative in between, I could have avoided that as well. So there are ways to avoid problems. Now I've got my woodless charcoal pencil and my blending stump, and I'm just highlighting around the girl just to make her fit the page a little bit more. So I'm putting this on and then taking the blending stump and just blending it out. I also do a little shading on the magazine picture itself. I love the background that I created on this page, and I definitely am going to write myself a note that I would love to use those colors, the stamp, the stencil, the technique with the gesso on a canvas or on a cradled wood panel. Definitely do a different focal point and an image where I'm going to turn it into a piece of home decor. But that's what I use my art journal for. I use it just to have fun, to explore, to be creative without fear of wrecking something. And then I find when I do that, I am free to try new things. And I learn something every time that I can then apply in my home decor art that I create. And now I'm just tweaking and playing with it just to get it to look like I want. I want to bring out a little bit more of that stencil. Then I grab my fine line bottle and I'm going to outline the words. I make a big glob right there. And, you know, if you're quick, because it's glued down with matte medium and it's that kind of gives you some time to clean up if you make a mistake. I just outlined it a little bit, and then I'm scratchily outlining the page as well. It's more of a scribble line than anything else. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. What do you think of this color scheme? Do you have a color scheme you'd like to see me try? Put it in the comment section. Check out my links. Thanks so much for joining me. See you in the next video.